This week on Tech Garage, we finish up Project M&M 2. Our Mercury Marauder gets the finishing touches. You do not want to miss it.
Well, welcome to the final episode of Season 8, right here at Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, Dave, our Mercury Marauder, well, it made it back to the shop.
Yeah, week 2, John, of our Project M&M 2. These Marauders are pretty remarkable. They only made 11,000 of them over 2 years, from 2003 to 2004. Over that same time, Toyota made 900,000 Camrys. So to give you an idea of how rare this vehicle is. And it's super cool because they use the Cobra engine in it. It makes about 300 horsepower. So this is a really rare find right here.
Yeah, and for me, you know, I'm driving Project M&M 1, fell in love with it. This is a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Not only do I have 300 horsepower, I'm a little more sporty, but I still got the Grandpa Marquis going on, so I'm feeling pretty good with this car. I'm going to keep it.
Hey, you're a sleeper, man.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Well, for you guys that missed episode 1, let's bring you up to speed. It all started out with Josh and Benjamin. They worked on the serpentine belt, and to do that, well, Dave, it was pretty simple. They took the tensioner off. They went ahead and took a picture, make sure everything was good. Took the belt off, replaced the tensioner, then put the belt back on, made sure it was routed right. I've been driving it for a week, so I know the belt's in good shape.
And that belt is so important because it's connected to so many different pieces of machinery on the front of that engine. You want to make sure that that is in good shape or you're going to be in a world of hurt. The hood struts were next, John. That was the first thing we noticed when we opened the hood. The hood came back down on us. You don't want to crack your skull open. You want to make it convenient for yourself as well. So the hood struts are easy to change. Just a couple of clips, one at the bottom of each strut and one at the top. We put the new struts on, they put the new struts on, and then new clip at the bottom, new clip at the top. Good to go.
Yep, and I wasn't overly concerned with it, but it did have an overheating issue, and they put it up in the air, they lifted it up, they went through that bleeder. It did burp a little bit of air. You know, I've been driving it, like I said, and it never really got up to temperature. I still want to keep an eye on it. It's coming out of emergency surgery. They just don't kick you out of the hospital, man. You got to drive it for a while, and you got to kind of rehab and recover. So we're just going to make sure it's all right, but I'm not worried about it. We got a whole engine, and Rock Auto sent us up with gaskets and timing if we need it.
All right, and it's, you know, some of the bigger stuff. There's some maintenance items that kind of fall on the list now. Oil change. If you're going to go through all this trouble, you want to change the fluid, you start with the oil. Spend the $30 to do an oil change. You're putting the thing up on the rack anyway. Just drain the oil, and then you're going to have this car running for miles and miles and miles with clean oil.
No doubt. And then they work their way back to the transmission. You're under there, why not? So they drop the pan, super easy one to get to on these Marquis and the Murata, same thing. Just drop the pan, put a new filter in, put new fresh fluid in there, torqued everything to specifications. We're good. Onward as they went.
Yeah, we looked underneath last time and we saw a fuel filter in there. Fuel filters are only good for about 50,000 miles to begin with. This car has 60, so if that is the original fuel filter, it needs to be changed. But we also noticed that there are a couple of hose clamps on there, which those don't belong there. That should just snap into place. So that was pretty suspect from the beginning, so we had those guys change that.
It didn't burn up, obviously.
Yeah.
They got it connected right.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're back in the differential service. They've got 2 more inches back. Just move back, move the pan back. They did a differential service, took the pan off, drained the fluid. Ooh, if it was smell-o-vision, they told me that stuff stunk, so it was needed the changing. On that one, you actually have an additive. It's a posi track, which is cool, kind of separates it from that Marquis once again. Put the new additive, put the new fluid in. Differential, man, we're doing burnouts.
While we're talking fluids, let's talk about air as a fluid. Now, that's inside the shocks.
Right.
This is a 20-year-old vehicle. If those are the original shocks, some of the seals and everything can get cracked and they start leaking. And just like in the office chair, like we talked about, you know, 20-year-old office chair, you sink down, the shocks are the same way. You just want to play it safe, replace the shocks on that, and that's what we did.
Yeah, RockAuto.com hooked us up with a Power Stop Complete Brake Kit. I love their kits, Dave, because no guessing. I mean, that's it. I mean, they went ahead and put all new brakes on it. Didn't even need it, but I'll tell you what, to put the Power Stop and with the Rock Auto kit, that's a huge upgrade. For the power we're producing, thing stops on a dime.
Exactly right. You know, going is important, but if you got 300 horsepower, stopping is even more important, and that's all about safety.
And that's what this episode's all about, is safety. Now that we got it mechanically sound, it's time to address some of these safety issues, Dave, and where should we start?
Well, there's nothing more important than being able to see and having people see you, and that's where the headlights come in. We went to rockauto.com, got new headlights for this thing, and you can see the old ones are just all cloudy, and that's because there's a UV protectant on the outside of the headlights, just sitting for years in the sun. We're here in Florida. The sun beating on that thing, got all foggy, and there you go.
And this is a beautiful thing. I mean, it is a Mercury Marauder, so that's different than a Marquis. You can see the blacked out stuff, and these parts are hard to find. RockAuto.com had everything, and this is a specialty car, like you said, so pretty cool that we can replace that. And, you know, it's great that we can see, but the wipers are mismatched. I think they were flopping around, and they were scratching the glass when I turned them on. I mean, they're done.
That's
they're
no
done.
good. That's no good.
Yep.
So we should get to doing that.
Yep.
Got these from rockauto.com. Made in the USA, by the way. I like that a lot.
Gotta love that.
And John, a lot of folks, I've heard people make fun of other people because they don't know how to change their wipers and stuff like that. This is kind of, there's a voodoo to it. There's a lot of different options with wiper.
Let me tell you, I'm an ASE Master Tech, and changing wipers is a rocket science. It is.
Guys, this is going to hurt when we tell you this. Check the instructions. I know you never do
Ouch.
that. You need to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's just going to pop on and pop off. We're pretty lucky here, but got a pocket screwdriver. There's a little tab down here. You push down and kind of work it off. We put these mats here. It's a really good idea. A towel, a shop rag, just in case your arm snaps down. You don't want to bust your windshield. So it's really a good practice.
I just hit it with the screwdriver there. Yeah.
Yep, so there you go, and just work it off. Dave, it's rusty and nasty, so you're gonna have to pull and fight, but once you get them off, you can see they're all deteriorated. These ones, beautiful, nice ones. It's the big one with the form here. I don't ever put the blades in, I just put the whole thing in. When you put the blades in, it's a real mess, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this one back in, push the tab down and push it in, and then the
John, I'm still working over here.
See that? Exactly.
I told you, it can be tough.
I'll tell you what, Dave,
Yeah.
I'll come over and help you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what, I'll get Josh and Benjamin on it. Don't worry about it.
This thing isn't budging. I don't know what's
this one
going on
too,
here.
look at that. So it went in and locked. Just leave it on there. We'll get it during the break. We'll have to get it off. You know what, Dave? It's probably almost melted on there. These things look like they're 800 years old, and it doesn't even look like it's the right arm. So just leave it, and we'll knock it out. No worries.
Not my problem anymore.
One other safety item we need to address is the tires, man. These tires are shot. They're mismatched. They're just wore out. The car's shaking. I can tell belts are shifted. We're not going to have to worry about that anymore, Dave. Continental hooked us up with 4 brand new tires.
Yeah, when you're making 300 horsepower, you've got to get that horsepower to the ground. That's why we're using Continental Extreme Contact tires, and we're going to install those and do a whole bunch more when we come back to Tech Garage, presented by rockauto.com.